Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies, entertainment only. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I am on tomorrow, I think it's 10 a.m. my time. I thought it was 9, but the scheduling on the little thumbnail says 10, so I'll still be here with Laurie from The Way of Positive Change. So go over to the Way of Positive Change and have a look. It'll be in her post section or just on her video section. You'll see when it's scheduled for. And then after that, I'm on grandma duties for the afternoon, so I won't be on for any other reading. So let's get some stuff out of the way now, and then see what on Hump Day. It's Wednesday for me. It's full moon day. It's blood moon eclipse day. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Talk about an interesting day we are going to be in over the next 24, 48 hours. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? I want to have a look at in this video. Now, I read several months ago about, I think it was about NATO splintering, and I at the time went, yeah, it is absolutely going to happen. The skin being that I am, made the assumption that that was because the Orange Twerp wanted to get take the US out of NATO. I suspect they haven't been paying their funds, but what's happening now is France has come out and said the attacks on Iran were illegal. Spain's come out. Multiple of the European countries have come out because they're pretty worried about this. Why are they worried? They're worried about Article 5. Now, we've all heard about Article 5 because we thought it would be in regards to Russia and Ukraine. Because if Article 5 in the NATO agreement is that if any member of NATO is attacked on their own shores by an enemy, then everybody else in NATO is drawn in to defend that country or to attack back, or however it is. I think it was invoked for September the 11th. I don't know when else it has been brought forward, but I bet there's quite a number of the parties in NATO going, this is not what we signed up for. This is not what NATO is for. This is not for one of our members starting a war on foreign soil and then that some element of that foreign soil making an attack onto our NATO partner. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be on US soil. It could be a US warship or aircraft carrier or anything like that if the attack is made back. Now, the embassies have been attacked, the US embassies, which are technically US soil. So that's a bit of a tricky one. But I just want to have a look at what next for NATO, because I did read the other month that NATO would be splintering. So I'm going to use my Gilded Tarot Royale. There is a lot of pushback especially from European members. Now, Canada and Australia came out and went, oh, well, you know, oh, please. Yeah, okay. But Canada and Australia are not members of NATO. Now, what I got in that reading the other month, for those that remember, was that NATO would splinter and it would be reformed with more countries, but excluding the US. Oh, and please, Melania chairing some UN Security Council or something meeting. Oh, the photo that I saw, apparently there were men on the panel that were like, oh, you know, googly-eyed. There were a couple, especially the women that were on the panel. Man, if they could stare daggers, Melania would have dropped on the spot. Totally not impressed. Very much like Oh, the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, uh, at a function with Ivanka and the handbag designer. Angela Merkel has degrees in physics and probably politics, an incredibly intelligent woman who steered Germany through some tricky times. And there she is having to show respect and listen to a vaping fake blonde, probably yabber on about, you know, who doesn't? Oh, anyhow, shake my head. Anyhow, off my little soapy box there. NATO splintering. Now, this was on the bottom of the deck, the uncharted territory, the new beginning, the Fool card. Split the deck to start poker shuffling, and we've got the Seven of Swords. The thief taking off, the fox in the hen house, the lies, deceit, they're just, oh boy. So it'll be, now Russia did hit, for example, Poland. And the US like, oh, no, couldn't possibly, etc. However, now, lies, deceit, betrayal, and we've got the military. Perhaps attempting to call up NATO assistance. However, I don't think those two sphinxes are moving very quickly. And yeah, carrying the 5 swords, conflict, brought it on themselves, left 2 behind. The sphinxes are not moving. So let's have a look. What do we need to know about NATO? Now, this is why you'll hear from certain NATO members, oh gosh, and you want to know what was there? The abuse of power. This one flipped out on me. The abuse of power. You've also got the oligarchs in their gilded cages calling the shots, and the willingness to sabotage for their own means. Let's have a look. Is the US, not the regime, is the regime. So when you're hearing these international diplomatic weasel words and you go, Carney and Albanese, and even Penny Wong, who's our foreign minister, just know that they are just words. And in some ways, they have to say these words publicly, regardless of what they might think privately. Still really irks. I mean, if Macron can come out and, say that the attacks are illegal and all the rest of it, surely the other countries can as well. But let's have a look. Oh, the American embassy had they put it on their social media, a big barbecue do. US beef now available in Australia. Boy, oh boy, did they get a flogging over that. That was part of the trade talks. I mean, US beef's always been allowed in Australia as long as it met certain guidelines. So anyhow, they had this big hullabaloo about US beef now available in Australia, and pretty much every single Australian went, yeah, nah, don't think so. Why would we? It's just, oh. Anyhow, I'm sounding like Lena today. So what I wanted to look at is NATO. So let's get back onto the question. Oh, the shining star, though. Could be a shining star. So let's have a look. What is going to, if there is an attack on the United States soil, because I don't know about the warships and the aircraft carriers and stuff. If there is an attack on the US, I'll just say that, by Iran, seeing the aircraft carrier. They're going to try and claim that as an attack. Okay. What's NATO going to do? Come on down, let's have a look. Right, the Hanged Man. The here and now, the signifier for the here and now is they are looking at this alliance very differently. The US may not have paid its dues, which might be an out for them because the money's falling out of this figure that's being hung upside down. But they might do some stalling tactics, but they're looking at this alliance very differently in the current events. I think, the challenge is ending. I think this, so 2 major arcana, the Hanged Man and Death. This is the end of NATO, because I don't think the other NATO countries are going to come to the rescue. They might make weasel words about it or stalling tactics about it. It's the end of NATO. The Orange Twerp got his wish there, but I keep getting that in the future it will be rebuilt stronger with other countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan. I'm getting Thailand, but I don't know with Thailand. Something down that way. Anyhow, might be Taiwan. Okay, but let's see where this goes. Yeah, this is the end. We've got the Chariot, the energy it's stewing in, the military, but stalled. Military action stalled. 3 majors so far. Let's see where it goes. Ace of Swords being drawn. The ace, the truth. There is no denying the truth, and NATO is about keeping the peace, not bringing war, and especially not supporting somebody who causes the war. The NATO alliance is to keep a deterrent, to keep the peace, and that's the truth of it. There might be something in the documents going back right to the inception that says if a country starts the war, this is why they're trying to blame Israel. Oh my God. Okay. This is why they are so desperately trying to blame Israel for starting it. Because there will be something in the NATO documentation that says if the country itself starts the conflict, then the Article 5 does, like I don't know, wouldn't have a clue what's in it. Then Article 5 is null and void. I would bet pounds to peanuts that's what it is. Okay, crowning the reading, the Judgment card. Look at this. 4 major arcana in the here and now. Huge energy this. This is important. The Judgment card, a collective awakening. Some big announcement being made. Can be a call to arms. Ooh, I hate that. But I just get that it's going to stall. Some big announcement's going to come out about this. If somebody knows what's in the NATO agreement about if the country itself starts the conflict, then let me know. Post it. Absolutely. Get this out there. Okay, the immediate future. Another ace. Again, huge energy. So this is the strength of the documentation. Thank you. Pentacles can mean the documents. They can mean money as well, but this can mean the documents. There is strength in the documentation in the face of the weasel or the stoat or the ferret or whatever you like to call it. The weasel who's trying to take advantage. So this is the immediate future. I think there's going to be an announcement come out from NATO about the documentation and the strength of it. Okay, let's see where it goes. Externally in this future, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, holding course, holding steady, being protected by this documentation, as going through this thicket here, going through the dark shrubbery, looking for pitfalls and all the rest of it. Internally, nope, no help, sorry, see you later. The documentation is going to stand strong, and the aggressor might find themselves pleading but out in the cold. Boy, they've messed this up big time. And I'm talking about I'm just going to say the regime has foobarred it, effed up beyond all recognition. So I suspect they're going to come begging, because you've got this pentacle here, this window, this light, this shining beacon of light that NATO is and was, and they're not going to get entry. They're not going to get what they come begging for. Okay, hopes and fears. Queen of Swords. This was this internal strategy that was plotted, but you've got the hope that this, because she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doves of peace surrounding her, this pillar of wisdom, holding the sword of truth. So the fear, I suspect, for the regime and the hope for the rest of us. Oh, 6 doves of peace. My bad, there's one in the background there too. Circling, holding strong. Okay. The outcome, King of Cups. It's my Mark Rutte card. The 2 of Cups and the unexpected message. So in discussions, unexpected message being brought forward that is basically, we might give you a little bit of money or something, but the beggars are going begging. Weighing the scales here. Actions having consequences, and the beggars going begging. And then we've got the 5 of Cups, loss, disappointment, heartbreak, because there might be, here's a token, but nah, we're not interested. We're not interested in this war that you created. You've then got the Knight of Wands bringing forth volatile, explosive information, and the 10 of Swords, the downfall, the end. You've then got the conflict throwing under the bus, the infighting that's going to occur, but then you've got the star standing strong and bringing with it the sword of truth with the Knight of Swords. Yep, I'm just going to stick by what my guides were telling me. You've got the 9 of Swords, a nightmare situation brought upon themselves, this regime. They're not going to like what they are offered, but it's going to be seen for what it is, as an abuse of power, a betrayal, and trying to drag the other NATO countries in to a war that they started. This is also about taking these swords of truth and leaving the battlefield as well. Right, we've got the 3 of Pentacles. Work going on behind the scenes. You've got Russia, you've got inability to harvest, you've got the Tower, and you've got the Moon card. Is this Russia, or is this just simply feminine energy bringing forward the abundance of a new beginning? No, we're not going to give you anything. And the downfall. Yep. Okay. That vision, that reading I did the other week. God, every bloody day feels like a week, and every week feels like about 6 months. I think it's going to stand firm. I think, yeah, packing up the truth and moving out of trouble. As I split that deck to start poker shuffling again, yeah, I think this will be, gosh, and the devil, had the devil there. Saw him glimpsed. This is the end. Those two cards together, the end of this legacy, this devil legacy. I don't think NATO is going to survive this, but I also don't think NATO is going to give the help that the regime is going to try and demand. Just a couple of cards to finish up. You want that one? What's NATO going to say? What is NATO going to what is NATO going to do? What is NATO? The other NATO countries. I'm getting that Rutte, yeah, he's in discussions already with like Macron and Spain. They're putting the seeds out there, saying it's an illegal attack, an illegal conflict. So therefore, it's giving NATO an out without Rutte doing it now. Okay. What's NATO going to do? The Three of Wands. They're already in the planning stage of what they're going to do. And there's that sword of truth again. The sword in regards to the conflict. A lot of messaging coming out very quickly. The guardrails holding. So there is something in the NATO agreement offering up this one ace, this Ace of Wands, surrendering this messaging, not troops, messaging, because there will be something in the NATO agreement. There's that Judgment card and walking away. And again, full moon stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to... Two of Wands, they're looking at their options, but you've got the Sun card and the Wheel of Fortune. Look, just checking, I think they're just checking their legal options, but the Sun is on their side. This is going to change everything in regards to, well, it's karma coming and biting on the bum. Yeah, NATO's not going to. I'm sorry if there was any expectation that they were. Yeah, I hope the regime is not going to try and rely on them. I think they're going to try and invoke it. But the seeding is already out there saying it's an illegal attack, that the US started it, and there's going to be something within that agreement that says if you are the aggressor that illegally started the conflict, talk to the hand. Okay. See how it goes. Love to you all. Take care.